Alright everyone, front suspension, stage 1 is going to be in full force motion. So I'm probably just going to do a quick overview. Engine is decently apart. I'm going to start tearing off the whole top end just to make it easier to pull the engine. Pulling the engine because it leaks so bad that I'm just going to completely reseal the whole engine out of chassis. Front suspension did come in, so then once the engine's out I can prop up the transmission and start taking apart the whole front end. As you see here, there's a box of all front suspension stuff. Don't have shocks or coilovers yet, but we're going to put on the whole front suspension. Supercharger is going to wait until I get this thing running and driving with no leaks with the stock drivetrain as is. How it is, the trans is going to have to be gone through with a shift kit just to make it last as long as possible. So the engine will remain stock and still remain stock all the way up for probably a good while, for pretty much all this year and probably all next year. Slowly accumulating parts, changing stuff, doing things. Come around here, you got stuff lying everywhere. Engine harness is off. A lot of stuff over here. Custom axles for the front. Front suspension, front axles. Radiator's out. I'm probably not going to reuse that. It's pretty damaged. Not by me, but whoever put that in or did anything to it. Also looks original. It's also bent in one spot, so we're not going to use that. Back here I haven't done anything other than put wood down so I can put stuff down on it. The front, the inside's just got parts all in it. So right there is basically where I'm in sort of full force. Tear the whole front of this thing down, pull the engine out, and start resealing the engine. I'll probably just, yeah, I'm just going to pull off the top end, pull the engine out, be easier, and then reseal it, the top end, after I put the engine back in, reseal the bottom end, engine hoist, engine stand. I'll have it sit on there for a while, and then I'll take all my parts to clean at work, clean them at work and everything, and then we'll put it together. So don't know how I'm gonna really put this. This might be thrown together. A lot of the videos will be thrown together. I don't know how I'm really gonna do it. But here's a bag of bolts, nuts, washers, everything like that. So part one of the front is in full force. Use everything I have to my advantage and just do this in stages. So as you see, the engine harness off. I'm gonna pull the whole top end apart, put it in baggies, all the bolts, just so I don't lose them. Take it all apart, put them in boxes, take them to work, and clean them. And that's pretty much it. There might be more after this, or I might cut it off here. Okay, here's just a bit of an add-on for what I was doing. So the whole frame down in here has been cleaned. I pushed it outside, sprayed degreaser all over here, and then power washed it off just to get all the oil off, because the way you're seeing it now, the only thing that's going to really remain left in here is all the brake lines, the fuel lines, and the steering rack. Everything else is going to be pitched. The front pumpkin I'm dropping out just to get it out of the way, and I have to take these off because I have new motor mounts that I'm not using the stock ones because they can rip off quite easily. Rip the motor, or the motor ripping them off quite easily. So that's pretty much, this is what it looks like now. The tires are still on it. I'm going to put it up on jack stands and completely disassemble everything. As you can see, it's much cleaner than it was before. You'll probably see some pictures of it, what it was before and after. Yeah, it's much better. It's much not oily, and I can get to it. I would like to, when I get it all down, to reinforce these front ones. Hopefully these brake lines will be fine. I can bend them slightly out of the way, or because the coil buckets have to go in there. The fuel line, we're gonna see. That might have to be bent-ish, moved. See about that. I'm gonna try and reuse the brake lines, the fuel line, just because that stuff will nickel and dime you, and I would like to try and reuse it because I want to just try and get this put together fast-ish and be somewhat strong for what I want to do. So here it is. We'll add on. It's clean, not apart yet. It's pretty much clean. I did take the shocks out because I'm not going to use them. Alright, this is the way it looks like now. I'm going to put it up on jack stands, take the tires off, and start just going ham. So, alright, so I'm probably gonna make one last little update for this video and then call it there. I got both front knuckles off. As you can see, not much else things are torn apart, just both front knuckles are off. And calipers are off. Basically took the whole knuckle off as one piece. It's up on front jack stands. As you can see, the torsion bar being prior to the front A-arm. The torsion bar is only held in there by a pocket when you put weight up on it. So you do this. That's the torsion bar hitting the one cover I have to still take off, but I just need to take off both upper and lower A-arms, the complete tie rod end from the steering rack, and the whole front pumpkin. I have to drain that once I get that out, but it's coming apart. Come back over here. We got the entirety front knuckle for this side off. So yeah. Alright, here's just some add-on. The front pumpkin is out. Still have to do the motor mounts. This driver's side, as you can see the pumpkin there. Both upper and lower arms are down. The shock hoop is cut out. I still have to grind the frame down flush for the new bucket that has to go in there. Push these brake lines out of the way. Push the fuel line out of the way. Push the evap line out of the way a bit. More than likely going to need a longer hose. Yeah. That's this. As you can see, the other A-arm, lower A-arm is still on. The upper one's off on the other side. That's the cover you have to take off to get the torsion bar out of here. It just laid up against the frame right there with its just lays up against the frame there with the bar that pushes up against the key. As you can see, just both upper A-arms, the driver's side lower, the torsion bar, the key that goes in that pocket. The pad that goes in that pocket where it goes on right there just basically lays in there like that, twisted, and yada 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 yada. Basically how torsion bar works, it just twists that whole bar to make it as a spring, but all this is junk. Okay, so continuing off where I think I left off, which is this pile of junk, which is all scrap metal. So motor mounts are there, both shock buckets are cut out of the frame. That's the one A-arm. I'll do a comparison of the new A-arm, but over here everything's torn down other than the tie rod ends. Motor mounts are out, cleaned off the frame a bit, but I still have to grind down this where the old shock buckets were. Grind that down. I gotta grind a lot of this away to get the new shock and coil buckets in here, and then just clean up the frame. So my piece of wood for holding the transmission up in the front there. Same here, just need to clean up and take care of this. But that's the full teardown of the front end. Here's a quick comparison. There's the torsion bar. The old passenger control arm, lower control arm. New passenger lower control arm. You can see the length difference. Also, the kit does not have ball joints anymore. They have uniballs. Uniballs, much stronger than ball joints. So that's a very, I guess, quick teaser of the kit. I'm not going to fully pull out the kit until I'm put the shock buckets on and everything. So just a quick difference between them. I got bushings. Yeah. That's it.